Oh, that's weird. Okay, don't do that. Alright. I didn't even realize I had that function. I play guitar. You can listen to me play in my Why I'm an Incel video. I promise that's the last time I'm going to mention it. So this video is hobbies. I think there's a big misconception about incel, forever alone, whatever. That, we're just boring people who don't do anything with our lives. And yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. But I think a lot of us are actually, cool, interesting people with interesting hobbies. It's just that we don't look good enough for people to care about them. So this video is all about my hobbies. I'll just go through and list, what I do for fun. And I guess I'll start with what is probably the most interesting and also the hobby that I have the least experience in, I think. So when I was a young boy, I must have been around 14 when this happened, I decided that I wanted to be a cool dude, right? And so in order to be a cool dude, you have to, kind of come up with a method to become a cool dude. And so my method of becoming a cool dude was basically looking at myself from an outside perspective and figuring out what qualities I admire in somebody. And then, assimilating those qualities in myself. So in order to do this, what I did is I kind of looked at myself as if I was a video game character, right? And the good thing about this video game is that it's an RPG with a fully customizable main character. So what kind of things do I want my main character to be good at? What kind of values do I want him to have? What do I want his personality to be like? And so basically, when I figured out what I wanted my main character to be, I started striving towards that. I started, grinding stat points and shit. Still haven't become a cool dude, but I'm hopefully on the way. I don't fucking know, man. But one of those qualities is that my main character has to be able to handle himself in a fight, because you can't be a badass without kicking ass, right? So, I did some research and I, went to figure out, okay, well, martial arts is kind of dumb, right? Because, it's like karate and shit, and just like it doesn't actually work in real life, obviously. So, I did do some research. Well, okay, so for the longest time, I'm already going on a tangent. What the fuck? For the longest time, I really thought that combat sports or martial arts in general was just like bullshit and not really relevant to real life. So I never really bothered asking my parents to, sign me up for anything, which they wouldn't have signed me up for it anyway. But, at some point I finally, bit the bullet and did some research. I don't remember what it was that changed my mind on it, but I did some research and I, wanted to figure out what's the most effective martial art. And so everybody was saying like 3 different things, right? I think the 3 main martial arts that I saw were Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, number 1, first and foremost. I saw that a lot. Muay Thai and boxing. I think those were the 3. And, every now and then I saw something like Krav Maga, Sambo, Judo, stuff like that. But I wound up going with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just because it was the one that I noticed was the most popular. And so, my hobby is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's it. Interestingly enough, I haven't actually told anybody that I was doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My parents eventually kind of found out, maybe, I want to say like 6 months into it, but they never actually said anything about it. They just kind of like ignored it for the most part. I usually tend not to tell other people for no reason other than I kind of feel like a douchebag talking about it, because growing up, I knew a lot of people who did like MMA or boxing or whatever, and there were these real fucking cocky assholes, and I hated their fucking guts, and I didn't want to become one of those guys, so I just never told anybody that I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so hopefully one of these days I'm gonna like kick somebody's ass in front of everybody, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, Jack, when did you get so cool?" But I mean, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. Low key, part of me regrets getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, specifically just because it's kind of a Like, you tell somebody about it and you get one of three reactions. The first reaction is, oh, that's like karate, isn't it? Right? And the second reaction is, oh, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, what's that? And then they see a video of it and they're just like, oh, that's gay, dude, what the fuck? You know, like, a lot of people look at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and think, oh, bro, what are you doing? You know, stand up and fight like a man. Because it just, I mean, it looks boring compared to other combat sports, right? So you don't really get the like brownie points of looking cool while you're fighting. The third reaction is as if somebody watches Joe Rogan and knows what it is, but that's not too common if I'm being perfectly honest with you. I like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu because it's you know, I feel kind of cool doing it, I guess. You know, I don't feel like I'll get beat up by like everybody who looks at me anymore. Because obviously I have issues with confidence, so I don't really like looking people in the eye or, you know, coming across as like, I like to make myself as small as possible, which is kind of a dumb thing to do as a man. Because, you know, I want to kind of like I want to kind of show, you know, I'm not a threat. You know, I want to curl up in a ball and just like be unassuming or whatever. I really don't know how to describe it, but I try to just keep low key for the most part. Just because I'm scared of somebody misconstruing my quote unquote confidence as a challenge and wanting to fight me. I don't fucking know, man. But now that I know I can actually hold my own in a fight, I mean, obviously, I haven't been punched before. So I don't know if I'll be able to cope with that well enough in a real fight, but we'll see. But yeah, I feel like something like Muay Thai or some kind of stand-up art is a little bit more... It's a better simulation of like a fighting environment. Because, I mean, a lot of the shit that you do in Jiu-Jitsu is... it's kind of assuming that there are no punches being thrown at you. Like, I practice... Like, yeah, you get to practice with a lot of intensity, but at the same time, nobody's throwing any punches at you, so... I feel like, you know, I might like put somebody in side control and then I get punched in the face. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm not used to this. There's also the fact that I didn't really grow up with any sports or any kind of like camaraderie or anything like that. And I will say that I feel like every guy, maybe not every guy, at least for me, it's actually really cool to have a place where I can go to and kind of like, not necessarily show off my physical skills, but like be physical with people. Like, it's such a weird feeling to like meet somebody for the first time and then try to kill them. You know what I mean? And like, you don't have to exchange words when you're sparring with somebody. You just fight each other, you know? And that's really comforting, you know? Because I don't talk to people. I'm not good at talking to people. So knowing that we can, you know, almost communicate using our bodies, I guess. I don't really know how to put it. It's a really nice feeling. And I feel like I've been missing something like that in my life. I think other kids had like, you know, football, basketball, or whatever growing up. But obviously, you know, people like us don't really have anything like that. The second is, you know, the camaraderie aspect of having like teammates in the same school. Because even somebody as antisocial as me, like, I'm still a fun person to spar with because, you know, it's kind of hard to not be a fun person to spar with, I tend to find. So if you have something to offer, you know, because I have a lot of stamina and energy, even if I'm not super strong or whatever, or super skilled either. You know, I actually have something to offer to a spar. You know, I can help people learn and get better. And, you know, likewise, other people can help me learn and get better. And it's a wordless exchange. We don't need to be able to talk to each other in order to have that sort of mutual beneficial relationship. But I think that's enough on that. Already this has gotten a little bit too long. So we're moving on to the next hobby, which is cooking. Cooking is probably my oldest hobby. I've been cooking for pretty much as long as I can remember. Been doing less of it lately just because I've had less time. Less time and money, really. But I really do enjoy cooking. I rarely get to cook for other people, but the few times that I do, they fucking love it. So far, I haven't made anything that people just hate. For the most part, people, you know, give me a whole lot of compliments whenever I cook them something. But obviously that's not a very common occurrence. This would pretty much only happen in like school when, you know, like Spanish class, bring a Spanish dish and I would like cook up some quesadillas or something. And everybody would be like, oh, Jack, you got some great quesadillas, or, you know, I'd bake cookies or whatever. I always thought that if I, you know, so part of my reason for wanting to become a cool guy is obviously so I could get a girlfriend. And I always thought, you know, if I went really hard into cooking and learn how to cook real well, girls fucking love that shit, right? So I'll have no problem finding and keeping a girlfriend if I can cook for her. Yeah, you see how that worked out. Third hobby is building, which is, I would consider that my second most interesting hobby, but other people don't seem to think so. So I don't do it a lot. I do it very rarely, just because it costs a lot of money every single time I do it. So the first thing that I ever built in my life, I guess crafting is a better word for it, was a hidden blade, 2 hidden blades actually, from Assassin's Creed. And I feel like this is something that everybody's tried to do at one point. I actually did it, and it was really cool. I had to like follow a YouTube tutorial, and it took a lot of money and a lot of time, a lot of patience, a lot of trial and error, but I did it. And I made like a really shitty version of the hidden blade that I think I still have it in my closet, actually, just one of them. I don't know what happened to the other one, but it cost me like $120 to build both of them, which is like my allowance for the entire year. I didn't get allowance growing up, but I got like, you know, just money every now and then for like birthday money, Christmas money, stuff like that. Allowance was a bad word for it. And you know, I can probably count on 2 hands the amount of things I've actually like crafted in my life, but it's a lot of fun every time I do it. I just can't do it a lot because it costs so much fucking money, man. Actually, right now I'm crafting, well, in this case it's more like building something called a pyrolysis reactor. It's a very ghetto form of a pyrolysis reactor, which I'm just going to use it to pyrolyze plastic. And what happens when you pyrolyze plastic is that it turns into oil. And I'm going to refine oil into gasoline, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with that. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I got the idea from Dr. Stone. I just thought it would be a cool little project for me to do. And fuck me, man. I spent like $500 on that shit, and it's still not done. I need to get somebody who can weld it, because I have like one part left that needs to be fixed or put together. And to do that, I need a welding kit. I bought a welding kit. I can't fucking use it. I don't know why. I thought I was prepared for it, but then I actually got the fucking... This isn't important at all. I'm actually just going to skip over all this, but yeah, point is I like building. I like crafting shit. My next hobby is, I guess, fitness. If I'm being honest with you, I kind of fell off of my fitness lately. Oh god, I've been doing really bad with my fitness, man. It's just that I've been so busy with like other shit in my life that fitness has kind of taken a back seat. It's taken a real back seat, and I'm not happy about that. Because I looked really good. Like, I started working out in high school, and like I looked at some old pictures of myself and old videos of myself from senior year, and god, I was fucking swole, right? I looked really good, but I've lost a lot of muscle mass. I've lost a lot of definition since that happened, and I'm upset about it. Actually, I think I'm more lean than I used to be. I've been kind of like going on and off lean, but in terms of muscle mass and strength, yeah, I've definitely gone down. But yeah, I don't really have one specific goal. I kind of just want to be like a well-rounded individual, so... I guess like a fighter's body is what I'm aiming for. So like, you know, pretty strong, decently strong, lots of stamina, so that's important. So I've been doing a lot of running too. Been doing some gymnastics stuff actually with gymnast rings, and doing some gymnastics ab routines, because I heard that gymnasts are actually like really good at everything physical. Like, if you have somebody who's a gymnast, they can generally just like get into anything, because that core strength and body control that they learn doing gymnastics translates to almost everything physical. So they're good at everything pretty much. They're like a jack of all trades. So I'm thinking something like that will help my jiu-jitsu out. You know, it'll help me get a cool physique and everything. And I guess those are all of my recreational hobbies. Huh, okay. For some reason, I thought I had more to say about that, but not really, I guess. Because I mean, I do other things like reading or whatever and general learning, but that's kind of like, I don't know if I would consider stuff like that a hobby. It's just ways that I spend my time rather than, actual things. I don't know. Like, for example, I've not so much anymore, but I used to read a whole lot of self-help books. Self-help and like charisma booster books, learning how to talk to people, shit like that, psychology books. I don't really do that so much anymore. Right now, I'm kind of focusing on like biology stuff. The more scientific, like nonfiction books. But yeah, I don't know if I'd really call those hobbies because I really just force myself to read them. They're not fun. It's not enjoyable to read those books. So yeah, that's everything for the main meat of the video. And now for, your regularly scheduled after talk. I don't really know. I've noticed that like in all of my videos, there's always this little 5-minute section at the end where I just start talking about bullshit. So that's what this is. I'm currently procrastinating right now on about a million different things. I really need to get home and do shit, but I don't want to, man. One of those things is clean the kitchen. I really hate cleaning, which, a hatred of cleaning and cooking, they really don't go well together. So a couple days ago, my kitchen's fucking filthy right now. Jesus Christ, I really need to get in there and clean it. But a couple days ago, I actually made a giant batch of General Tso's chicken. Now, the thing about this General Tso's chicken recipe is that it's really messy and really tedious, and if you try to like get in the kitchen and make it from start to finish, it takes like an hour or something just to finish cooking everything. Well, maybe like 2 hours or something. It takes a long fucking time, man. But if you prep all of the stuff beforehand, you're golden. You're good. You just you fry your chicken, you heat up your sauce, and it's good to go, right? It's really simple. So what I did is I made up a giant batch, about like 5 pounds of General Tso's chicken, prepared it all, and got ready to eat. So like the next morning, I made the mistake of eating this for breakfast, and I think that may have been where I fucked up, but I'm not sure. Because what happened was that I made myself some of the General Tso's chicken. I didn't make it all because I had somewhere to be that morning. So I only had time to make like one little portion of it for myself, and then I told myself when I got home I was just going to make the rest of it. So I'd have it ready for whenever I got hungry. But I don't know if it's because the oil that I used to fry it was like old. I mean, I will be honest with you, that oil was fucking old, and like it looked fine, so I figured it was okay. It didn't have like a whole bunch of residue in it, but like it was just sitting in my little deep fryer, and it's been there for like the past month or something. So that may have been the cause. But I felt like absolute shit the entire day. And my body will do this weird thing where like, if it fights off a sickness that, I mean, I assume this is what's happening, but I think if it fights off a sickness that it knows, how to deal with, for a day or two, I'll just feel like absolute garbage. But like, I'll have no other symptoms. I won't have like a runny nose or a sore throat or anything. I'll just have like those body aches that you get when you get sick. And I'll just feel like a garbage human being in general. And so shortly after eating my General Tso's chicken, that's exactly what I felt. And because I felt like shit eating, like directly after eating that General Tso's chicken, I guess my body made the connection that the General Tso's chicken was the cause. And so I have it sitting there in the fridge, and as well as the sauce that I made. And I just don't want to make it. I really don't want to fucking make it. Every time I even think about eating that shit, like my body is just like, no, don't fucking do it. And so I really don't know what I'm going to do with all that, because it's like it's prepared and ready to go, but I don't want to eat it. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to update on. Peace out, I guess. Catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.